Psychological battle. Last week, as it does from time to time, my heart decided to beat mischievously. I think the main reason was that I was involved in a number of discussions surrounding Mental Health Awareness Week, and I believe that memories of my battles raised my anxiety levels sufficiently to trigger extra heartbeats, which threatened to start longer bouts of palpitations. On Thursday night, as I sat watching Nadia Hussein's documentary Anxiety and Me on iPlayer, my heart was throwing in an extra beat for every fourth normal beat. The extra beats are harder than the normal beats, and because they happen slightly out of sync, they are very noticeable and impossible to ignore. Watching Nadia's demonstration of how she uses a tried and trusted technique to deal with an anxiety attack brought back memories of how I used to react when my heart would explode into palpitations. As Nadia breathed deeply in through her nose and aggressively out of her mouth, you could see the tension increase in her body until she was nearly physically sick. During an anxiety attack, when your heart rate is already elevated, your breathing rate has increased and your blood pressure is raised, the forced introduction of additional tension, oxygen, and pressure can only overload a system that is already on the edge. Similarly, when my heart used to beat erratically, I'd immediately become excessively tense. I'd start to fight the symptoms and try to physically force my heart to normal rhythm. That increase in tension and that forced fight only exacerbated the situation and gave my anxiety the fuel it needed to take things to another dangerous level. Nadia's technique is a well-known solution that is promoted across society as a means of reducing the effects of anxiety attacks, but, in mindful reality, it only serves to compound the severity of the problem and intensify the symptoms. It was very enlightening to see Nadia's counselor turn things on their head when he advised that she switch to a more mindful approach. To accept the panic attack was happening, to realize that her anxiety was irrational, that the childhood trauma that triggered the attacks was not going to happen again, that she was safe and that she could regain control and, eventually over time, she could stop the anxiety in its tracks. On Saturday night, I enjoyed a pint of Guinness. At the height of my challenges, I gave up alcohol, as I had recognized that it would induce palpitations, but recently I've been able to drink a little more without it affecting things too much. At 4:30 a.m. on Sunday morning, I was woken up by my heart beating out of sync. One of my beats appeared intoxicated by the alcohol and was slurring its beat. Bum, bum, blurb. Ba-bum, bum, blurb. Ba-bum, bum, blurb. For several hours, a psychological battle raged in my mind as my anxiety seized the opportunity and tried to get me to react in the same way Nadia had, and encourage the drunken beat to infiltrate the more sober beats. Meanwhile, my brain calmly advised caution and to employ the mindful technique that I had successfully used hundreds of times since September 2017. There were moments when my heart started to race, times when multiple extra beats would fire in quick succession, times of quiet when I thought the battle was over, only for a random beat to relight the anxiety again and bring my jumbled beat back into focus. Climbing stairs, bending over, getting dressed all served to raise my heartbeat, and the associated anxiety even more. But I continued, undeterred, to be present, mindful, and calm. And then, probably as the alcohol wore off, the inebriated beat sobered up, and my heart returned to a quiet, regular hum. Once again, the power of mindfulness had conquered the weakness of my anxiety, subduing a potentially devastating situation, allowing me to enjoy a walk along the gorgeous Loon Valley in peaceful serenity, and it felt amazing. Keep stepping, ready for the next battle.